Greetings.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the new sideshow of the Bohemian Grove podcast YouTube channel. You may have noticed that there has been a delay in uploads, and that is because my good friends and I have all been enamored by the recent release of the new game Diablo IV, and that's what we are centering this sideshow around. Hello, my name is Luke. I'm currently playing a Necromancer. My main character is a level 86 Twisting Blades Death Trap Rogue. Would you two care to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, man. My name's Joe. Currently playing as a new character. His name's Colin, Barbarian. My usual character is a fucking level 53, something like that, Lightning Mage.
Yeah, my name is Dax. Showing up as a druid, but my main is a level 69. Nice. Ice Shard Wizard. Yeah.
And so we will now begin to play through the tutorial to the campaign. And I created this show mostly because I want to introduce the facets of this game, and I also want to talk with my friends about what this game does well, what it does poorly, what could potentially be improved upon, and also just have a new place to talk about one of my many interests.
Mm-hmm.
So this new podcast will absolutely contain spoilers because we have all three played through the campaign. We've all done that. And I imagine that people who are consuming content on this game probably also know what happens in the story. But so that takes me to what I think we should talk about first, which is the story. What do you guys think in particular about the story?
I liked the story, definitely. It was cool, especially act, what was it, 6? Was it 6 acts?
The final act? Yeah.
Yeah, that one was dope. 1 through 3 felt a little bit disjointed, just because they had it where, you can play it in, any order, and it just didn't really feel connected totally. But
I agree with that.
Act 4, 5, and 6 were legit. They were pretty, especially 6 was, the cinematics were really cool. I like that.
Well, so 6 took its cinematics into the it took it away from in-engine in cutscene renders, and it was full 3D CG. It was a completely different narrative than what it had been previously.
Yeah, I really liked that. But yeah, the first 3 was kind of not my favorite to play through. It was kind of just, grinding through it, just trying to get it over with. It was just...
Especially because it all 3 in my mind just amounted to getting a horse.
No, yeah, 100%. That was, yeah.
I don't know. The stories in Diablo, I don't know. I haven't really had very much consistent interest in. And that's just how I am. I kind of just love the blowing people up with lightning.
That's valid. Yeah, that's
kind of all I'd be doing.
That's absolutely valid. Me personally, I think that the Diablo IV story was really well done, but I do agree with Dax on the acts 1 through 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like 1 through 3 was a slog. I didn't really enjoy any of it, but as soon as we got out of there and it kind of went into the more open world aspect, I was like, oh, this is sick.
Yeah, it definitely gets more fun once you at least complete the first 3 acts, and then once you complete just the campaign in general, I think it gets more exciting for sure.
Yeah.
I also wasn't a fan of how often they reused the Black Lake. How many times we had to go in there just with slightly different quest narratives done. And
it's also the longest walk of your life, dude. They make you go all the way back down to the bottom there, and I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, as well as Vigo's not a very memorable character. And for many people who didn't take their time to grind out the side quests, that was probably their first legendary too.
Yeah, I don't know if that was my first, but yeah, I did not do many side quests.
Either.
Here we go.
In the phasing through doors glitch again.
Oh, that's exciting.
So I also was a big fan of how the story potentially set us up to go to another continent on this sanctuary. because Neyrelle did take the Soul Stone containing Mephisto
Yeah,
to the monks.
That's true. That would be dope if they do that in an expansion later somewhere. That
Dude,
would
I
be
know
awesome.
exactly what I want from that DLC.
I also do remember Mephisto saying that there will come a time where we are enemies. And so I'm hoping that a Mephisto
yeah.
boss fight comes from that.
That could be cool.
And I did also remember when Mephisto said there will be a new DLC for Diablo 4. He did say that at the end cutscene. He's like,
Said that verbatim.
yeah.
Did he say how much it was going to cost in the cutscene?
Said it probably like everything you have, and you're right.
He said $30.
Oh, for real? Okay. I think given the state of modern gaming, that's not awful.
Honestly, yeah, that's not bad.
Because if it's anything like what the Diablo 3 Rise of the Necromancer DLC was for it,
That was
it could be big, because adding a 5th act to the game, adding a new class, and then adding a new level of torment to the end game content, I was pretty cool. I was a fan of that.
yeah, that was fun.
I'll be a fan if they add Monk.
Monk, yeah. Yeah, I never got to really build my monk in Diablo 3. I started, got to like level 12, and kind of never touched it again. But I think it'd be cool.
Man, you played for an hour.
Yeah.
Stopped.
Pretty much, yeah. I think I got my first legendary from that one dungeon. That stupid helmet, the crown.
The crown, yeah.
Yeah, and then I
Yeah, you got Leorix.
Yeah, Leorix crown.
Classic.
Yeah.
I think the direction of the story was a really fun callback, because Laroth Nar from the 3rd game came back.
Yeah.
Mishif, the funny drug addict, came back, and he called Laroth Deckard Cain. He was a
I
character
totally
in the
don't
second
remember
game.
him from Diablo 3. I'm gonna be real, dude. I do not remember him.
Well, Mishif was from the 2nd game,
Oh, okay, well, that's why.
but Deckard Cain
Yeah, but
was
motherfucker's
he was a
old.
Haradrim from Diablo 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was since passed. I also think that I don't understand why Neyrelle no longer wanted to be Haradrim.
I don't know.
That part of the ending really confused me.
She's gonna probably just upset her mom died, but Loki, that was her mom's fault. So, well,
Yeah, no, her mom like fell into
She even
temptation, and
coped.
that was kind of
Yeah.
her fault.
big time her fault. Yeah. He made me do a bunch of work too. I had to go all the way down to the bottom of the Black Lake. That was stupid.
I also wonder what's going to be become of Inarius and Rathma, because I don't know if they are elevated to such a tier where they are truly immortal or anything like that.
Yeah, I don't know. Because he seemed like he kind of got murked. Like, he didn't seem like he was getting up to that much.
Yeah, Rathma in this story, was obviously, he was the necromancer that was the key to Elias gaining power.
Yeah.
But seeing him die before having an Elias fight seems so strange, because Elias retained his immortality, even though his secret little, I don't know what to call it, his secret dungeon underneath the sea on the far east
Wow.
remained. But personally, I
Yeah.
would have thought that Rathma's influence wouldn't linger for that long. So what did you guys think of the overall vibe of this game compared to, say, Diablo 3?
I liked the look a lot more, but I feel like I don't know, the prop gore was pretty good. Like the placement of like really scary, bloody dungeons, and hell is really violent, and everything is violent, but.
Yeah.
One thing I really just miss, and I don't know why they kind of dumbed it down, but Diablo 3, when you crit someone, they like blow up with disgusting amounts of gore. When like this game, like I'm sending like crazy lightning explosions, and then the corpse just burns and it just lays there. I want the thing to blow up with lightning. I want lightning explosions, but this game's like, no.
I get that. I was more referencing atmosphere when I asked this, but because I think that the atmosphere of this game is a stark contrast from Diablo 3, which is borderline didn't take itself serious. I think the voice acting from the stand-in characters was a little wonky.
Mm.
No one really seemed like they were living through the eternal conflict. People referenced the Sin War with no penance in their voice. It just makes no sense to me.
Yeah, I think this one definitely has a good environment.
I got it it's a lot more dark. I like how morbid it all is and how they aren't afraid to show like gratuitous violence.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. The entire look is fantastic. The entire look just looks.
It definitely has a good atmosphere.
It has a style, and I really, really fuck with the style. But just saying, like, they're missing some bits of Diablo 3 that I wish they kept.
There are aspects of Diablo 3 that I wish they kept, but I'll
There's
mostly
quite a
talk
few.
about that when I like start bringing up the gameplay. Because for right now, story and atmosphere are what I want to focus on for the time being. Because I think that this game killed it. I think this game did an incredible job at making the atmosphere seem just so desperate in this horrible time.
Mm-hmm.
But the only thing that I can really critique is the influence of the main antagonist, Elias, because his only motive was that Laroth couldn't give him motivation or could not give him purpose. But I don't see why that would turn someone evil. Because he doesn't say that he was directly contacted by Lilith. He kind of drummed that up from looking through Rathma's archive.
Mm-hmm.
But if that's truly his motivation, so be it.
Yeah.
It brought us a pretty damn good game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Elias's character I didn't really like. Honestly, just couldn't give a fuck about. I just wanted him dead.
He kind of just seemed like kind of emo kid. Okay.
Yeah, like bald. So like he's just pissed off that he's bald.
Yeah.
I wasn't a fan of most of the side characters in this. I think the game really could have done without Tysa and Neyrel.
Oh, yeah, I didn't like them. Neyrel and her mom were really annoying. Tysa was annoying.
Guy's misogynist.
True.
They
for
just
real.
didn't push the story forward. That's my problem.
Dude.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, this guy's Rigby bigot right now.
Same with, so this guy right here, Oswin and Yosef. I do not understand why the church turns evil on us at the end, because the only thing that comes to mind is that the player took the soul stone from Inarius's body, because the prophecy foretold Inarius is gonna kill him with the spear. But obviously that wasn't true, because he fucking made it up himself.
Yeah, I think they were just butthurt low-key.
Yeah, I didn't understand that when we got ambushed by those loser knights. And I was like, okay, hey guys.
Yeah.
It did confuse me a little bit, but I think it's playing on the just how religious they are and just how deeply they looked into what the prophecy was, or how deep their connection to that was. That's what I want to assume.
Yeah, that's...
But I don't see why that turns them against us completely.
Yeah, they're kind of just fanatic, it seems like.
Yeah, I don't know. It was definitely a little strange.
So that maybe that'll transition us to the next bit. Let's talk about the gameplay aspects. What was your guys' favorite part of the gameplay that kind of changed from D3?
Honestly, gameplay-wise, I don't know. I mean, I liked having new abilities, obviously, but
I feel like they nerfed quite a bit of like the passive stats. I feel like in the previous game, I was able to like equip certain skills that like really bumped up my character. And I don't know. The only really gripe I have is that, and this could just be my experience because I was playing with you, Luke, while you had like a player that's like 40 levels above mine. But that, I don't know, like the two person leveling is so like dramatic. Like the difference is so crazy compared to like what I do, the damage I do by myself.
I understand that, yeah.
And so like it was really like hard for me to understand what I needed to change about my character when I was playing with my friends. Because it's like I'm either doing no damage or like Luke's one hitting people. And so like that's what I had a really hard time figuring out.
Yeah, that is the one downside of playing with someone that's like pretty over leveled for what you're doing, is you don't know how you're actually doing. And that's why actually I was saying, like, with like world bosses and stuff, I wish they would have some type of like scoreboard or like stat board that shows how much damage everyone's doing to that certain boss, just because I want to know like how I compare and like where all the damage is coming from. So I kind of wish they'd break it down like that. It'd be kind of cool. But
yeah, like, well, also like how they removed all the destroying like furniture bonuses and
bring that back.
Oh, I forgot about that, dude.
The masochist stuff, and then like the more people you kill, you get some XP boosts. Yeah, that stuff like
that was huge.
Oh no, I remember early game when I was playing this, I was like always trying to destroy everything to get bonus. I was like, oh wait, I don't think there's even one in this game.
I think so. The issue of leveling that I can see is that this game was given a definite end game, as opposed to Diablo 3's potential infinite leveling system. And I think that most of that is because Diablo 4 has a PvP aspect to it. Because in the context of PvE, there's absolutely no reason to, cap your character's level, because you just keep getting stronger. But when the balance of another player and fighting another player is brought in, if Diablo 3's Paragon system were the main influence in Diablo 4, P-diff or Paragon difference would be the absolute biggest, factor in winning fights.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm also just not a fan of the meta shit, too.
Yeah, I mean, low-key, I wish it wasn't so clear-cut, because pretty much it's like, you either use it or you're not doing top tier like end game, because it's because the other builds just don't compare. Like there's a few builds that are just the best.
I think the new affix system is a little funky comparatively too, because some class-based affixes are extremely powerful comparatively. Like Dax and I saw a druid today who had a two-handed weapon that gave its attack more range per se, and also increased it by 150%. Or the most I've seen on my rogue, like a class-specific ability, is that blades rip out for slightly more damage and then orbit for, I think, 30% less damage. So seeing how they balance that along with the more items / more gem slots is definitely going to have to be more PvP centered, because I think that that's what they've centered the end game around in this.
PvP?
Yeah, I think that PvP balance is what they centered their game around, because I can't see a PvE game having an end game where you have a level cap. I just don't see a point to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That was kind of interesting to me.
This is weird. I was just trying to lightning max, and like lightning has always been my favorite element, I guess, to use in any Diablo game. And I don't know, I'm just seeing like the builds, do this build. I'm like, fuck you. I'm trying to do my own build here.
Yeah, because it's pretty much like all ice, and there's like one good lightning build. I really wanted to make a fire wizard. There's no good fire builds, so I was really disappointed about that.
They're all garbage, but
they're so bad.
But then that's just so stupid. That's from a game developing standpoint. That's dumb because when you force everyone into like a single path of damage, what that does is that just makes it so if you're a higher level, you can kill everyone, or like I don't know. It seems like if you're lucky enough to get a good roll, that's what makes you good, rather than like, I don't know.
I mean,
Like,
that is pretty much what it is the builds. Like, if you have the better build, you win, pretty much.
Yeah, but then that just, I don't know, that just limits people's, I feel like that really limits people's approach to how they want to play the game, because it's like, I don't know, Luke knows I've been using lightning the entire game.
Yeah, he was telling me about that, yeah.
Truth.
And I've been getting really good damage and really good legendaries, but it's still like, in the end, all this effort's for nothing. Because eventually I'm gonna have to just make that dumbass build.
Yeah.
Stupid ass ice build. Ice cells.
And like, I did end up enjoying the ice stuff. Like, I was using an ice build early game. Not the meta ice build. I was using like Blizzard and the like Frozen Orb or whatever. But it was a lot of fun just like watching stuff freeze and shatter. But I wish it wasn't like the only build that was just the best. And like the Arc Lash build is pretty close to competing with the Ice Shard, but it's just not the same, I don't think. It's not quite on that level. But I don't know, I haven't tried it out that much, so maybe I'm wrong, maybe it is like goated, but the Ice Shards seem pretty busted.
Using a rogue for this, I've kind of realized that rogue really only has one way to go, and that's twisting blades, because as much as people want to say that the flurry build is the meta, in Alzuda, as a level 84, I killed a level 100 flurry rogue who used no traps twice, and I got 2 of his ears. So either the leveling is insanely unbalanced, purely to him and the flurry skill, or Twisting Blades needs another nerf. But outside of those 2 builds, which are quote-unquote meta, I have still never seen another viable build for rogue be used, because any rogue that tries to actually make a ranged build off of like a crossbow or a complete bow, they will never win. I think it's because rogue has a bunch of CQC skills. Like, backstab gets you in the fight. Dash is primarily used so Twisting Blade pierces more enemies and resets cooldowns. Traps, stun lock, and also drag enemies toward you.
Well, and that's the other thing, I think, is that Diablo 4 really does not seem range friendly. Like, all the meta builds are close range, like melee range. Yeah, and I can't think of a single long range. Even my Ice Shards build specs into damage to close enemies. You're supposed to be on top of them, freezing them with Frost Nova. Like, it seems like a sorcerer should be long range, but no, they're all, and even like the Arc Lash build, that's a melee range. So like I can't think of a single long range build.
Yeah, I don't understand it. Even though damage to distant enemies is still something that you can roll on potentially any weapon at all.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But it's just all the ranged skills are just
better, yeah. Or
poop. Like, I remember switching from the spark, so like the projectile lightning attack, to Arc Lash.
Total difference,
and like the perks too that you can unlock, like fucking when you hit an enemy like 9 times, or you hit multiple enemies 9 times, you guaranteed stun. Which will then also go to, you know, there's so many legendaries, I mean, that I've gotten that make it so that stun damage goes way up. It's just, I don't know, just a little silly. That's my only gripe, is that I can't like create something for myself and do good with it, though, and universally do good with it. Well, here it's just like, you're not doing the thing everyone else is doing, you're fucked.
So that was kind of the, like, I still like the grinding for the right gear with the good stats, but it is annoying that I can only kind of go with like one build, and that it has to be like melee, because like Diablo 3, my Witch Doctor build, I would like, there was, you know, you could use it close range, but you could also use it long range, and it was solid. So it was.
Diablo 3 legendaries also spec'd really hard into single ability Like
Yeah.
most Diablo 3 legendaries where you deal 200 to 300% of something on X ability. And
Yeah.
all of the Diablo 4 legendaries, except for very, very few class specific
Yeah.
ones, are minor
kinda-
damage increases, but
Yeah.
extremely general and dependent
They're
on some external
coveralls, yeah.
factor.
Yeah, I hate it.
Yeah.
I also think
Well-
that the new Paragon system is the biggest game changer in an entire, just in the
I
entire
do
game.
really like the new Paragon system. The Paragon boards and all that, I really like that. That's really cool.
I
still
think
yet
it's
to
cool,
understand it
yeah.
all.
It's the most confusing it's ever been, though.
It's
Yeah.
so fucking confusing. I'm like, I look at it and I'm like, God damn it.
No, that is one of the main reasons I follow a guide. Is I've never liked having like that many options. It just overwhelms me and I can't figure out what to choose. So for that, I do like having like a, following a guide and just, taking that path. Because I just don't like, going through all the, because I'll spend hours like, but what's the best option? And I just, yeah.
Yeah, I definitely understand that. I think that Diablo 4's balance is going to be similar to Diablo 3's, where with every increasing season, they're going to take a look at the meta and they're going to change everything up. Because for the longest time, Diablo 3's meta shifted, and it was only very recent that the two metas, from what I've seen, have kind of collided, and that they've stayed the same. And that being like the Rathma and the Tragul Necro set.
Mm-hmm.
Because for the longest time, everyone would just run Talrasha Meteor set, and then in the recent season, or 27, that got nerfed, and then it got brought back. But I think that Diablo 4 is going to see a similar, I think it's going to see similar nerfs to meta builds, just as Arclash and Twisting Blades saw, because Arclash used to be the most overpowered sorcerer build, and Twisting Blades was, I think it still is the best rogue build, but it's not what it was because its cooldowns got hit really hard.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, the game still, it's, it has just come out, so there's definitely going to be a whole lot of changes and updates coming out. But I'm just wondering to what extent they're going to change stuff.
I think it'll be slight tweaks. I feel like because the end game is kind of PvP centric, that they're going to want to balance every class as opposed to just shifting the meta to make people play different classes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They just gotta make Chain Lightning do more damage.
It just doesn't feel super PvP centric to me because there's like only like 8 things you can buy with the blood shards, and after that there's like really just not.
Well, there's a relatively cheap Kadala that you can get. It's a lot faster to get blood shards and use Kadala than it is to
That's true,
to grind events all day.
Yeah. The Helltide is still going to give you more legendaries than Kadala will.
That is true, but a Helltide only springs up once every 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
I got the most insane staff from Helltide.
Yeah, Helltide comes through.
Did you tell Dax about the staff?
No, I didn't. Why don't you tell Dax about the staff?
So there's this legendary aspect that I prioritize in my weapons, or weapons and rings or amulets. Sorry. And so it's aspect. My weapons or my attacks do 70. It was like what, 40 to 70% more damage to stunned, frozen, or immobilized enemies.
Oh yeah, I know that one. Yeah.
Yeah. And I got the staff that pretty much had all of its normal skills rolled to the max.
Oh,
then that skill was rolled to the max.
That's insane.
And it was 70% additional stun damage.
Oh yeah, because it's a staff, so it has the higher.
Uh-huh.
That's pretty crazy.
It was fucked up. Still is fucked up. I still used it on my amulet, but
that's crazy. Yeah, no, that's a really good aspect. I use that one for my build as well, just with all the freezing. But yeah. that's a solid staff. Yeah, Helltide definitely, usually at least, drops pretty good stuff. The last one I did was kind of weak. I got like nothing I kept, but usually it's pretty legit.
Just want to add on. I think what I was trying to put into words is that I think the end game is PvP centric, not in terms of progression, but in terms of balance. I don't think that they center progression in the end game around PvP because they obviously don't. But I think that they're going to center balance around PvP and classes having the upper hand over one another, which is why I think meta shifts are definitely going to happen. And I don't think that it's going to be to alter playstyles. I think it's going to be to balance PvP because right now, stun mage or freeze mage is the most broken part of PvP. And maybe Hammer of the Ancients Barb.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, I don't know. Freeze mage isn't great if the other person has an unrooting ability. Like, any ability that unroots, that's all the mage has is the freeze. If they're not frozen, the mage gets destroyed, like, 10 times out of 10. A mage can't win without the freeze. So if they have any unrooting, like, Barb has a bunch of unstoppable stuff, and you just can't freeze them when they're unstoppable. So there's literally nothing you can do but run until that unstoppable runs out, and then you can try to freeze them.
See, this is where I think my build is good.
Yeah.
Is that, like, the lightning build's good because lightning spear is my way of stunning people, and it stuns people literally instantly when I critical hit them.
Yeah.
My critical hit chance is what through the roof. Yeah. But what I can do is when someone's unstoppable, I can just dodge and teleport around them.
Yeah.
And what I do to get more critical hit chance is I have another thing on my boots is that when I dodge, the speed bonus increases, and that speed bonus gives me an increase in critical hit chance. I move, so I'm really fast, throw my lightning spear, instantly stuns them, and then my right click can one-hit people, or one-hit things.
What's your right click?
It's
a lightning spear or charged bolt. I just switch in between two of them.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing about the freeze. The freeze, you can't freeze someone who's unstoppable. Unrooting cannot get you out of a freeze.
It does when I use my my flame shield, which I'm pretty sure that just unroots.
That may be different for a mage, but for a character who has unroots cannot counter a freeze. There's no way to counter a freeze because freeze shuts off abilities, which is why I think that it's too broken in a PvP meta.
I don't know, I think it's probably just a good counter for Rogue, but it has a lot of trouble against Barb, at least, for sure. And, what's the other class? I mean, I know there's, Necro, but Necro doesn't. Oh, Druid. Druid also beats it, most of the time. Just because I think Druid has a lot of unstoppable stuff, too.
I don't know.
So I think it's just a good counter against Rogue, but anything with unstoppable, you can't do it. It's like, that's just it.
I get that. I just wish that there were some freeze counter, but there's very obviously not.
Well, I think Rogue needs just more freeze counters, maybe, because Barb and Druid have definitely no problems with it. I think they are definitely more than well off. And Necro, I don't even know what to think about Necro.
I just wanted to play a Necro to see if it really was that bad of a class.
At least in PvP. I think it's really good in PvE, I think, but it's not great in PvP, it seems.
And they must have they changed their ways since fucking 3.
Yeah. For real.
And since the beta.
And since the beta. Because beta, it was insane.
Yeah, they need Monk back, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
That would bring the world back to its rightful place.
A lot of people want Crusader back, and I'm not sure why. The Crusader didn't seem super exciting.
Crusader was my first Diablo 3 character, and it was possibly the most boring with the least potential.
Yeah, exactly. It just
I
didn't
don't
seem
think
fun
Crusader coming back would be enjoyable for anyone.
Monk!
I don't know why people want it back so bad, but...
Dude, and Monk is Will.
Monk is kind of legit. Monk would be cool to have back, because I didn't get to build into him too much.
Monk's Wave of Light in Diablo 3 was incredible. You could farm rifts like without clicking on people because of just what it generated on its own.
That's crazy.
Yo, Lilith with her big breasts? Can you leave that in?
Yeah, I can leave that in.
Hey YouTube, I think Lilith, the main evil lady demon in Diablo 4, has mid boobies.
I agree. Let's talk about that, because honestly,
Yeah, please.
the main antagonist in this game, Rack, was not all there.
Really? I don't know. They definitely were showing some, I feel like.
Resident Evil really knows what to do. Like,
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you're comparing it to that, yeah, it didn't.
well, I'm comparing it to like the Pinnacle, and then now we're
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
what we're doing is like, you know, playing. Like this is like the leftovers, you know.
Yeah, I don't think that Lilith's progression was very apparent.
Yeah.
As a villain,
I also just didn't give a fuck about her.
she just
No.
kind of screwed over Donnan and Yoren, because I guess they killed Astaroth or whatever. But
She kind of went from place to place, and then.
Killed her son, and then that was about it. Oh,
Yeah.
treasure goblin!
Oh, what?
I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get his ass.
You better. Alright, I'm gonna stay back. Well, no, I'm not gonna stay back.
Back here, bitch.
I'm too slow for this, dude.
Oh, he's running.
classic treasure goblin.
There we go, now he's rooted.
I don't fully understand Lilith's motive. I also don't understand why she was barred from hell. Because Mephisto disliked Lilith. Maybe they had gotten into a previous altercation that just wasn't very blatantly referenced in the story. But Mephisto's distaste for Lilith didn't make a lot of sense to me, because Lilith is Mephisto's daughter.
Yeah, I just saw dog pill the entire time. Like none of their relationship as like a just not there, and it just I don't know. I just saw dog pill.
Who was dog pilled in your opinion?
Who was dog pilled?
Who got the biggest dog pilled?
Elias, probably.
Elias, I can see that.
Yeah.
I think at the end though, Yoren and Donnan got black pilled.
He got black pilled for sure, but like Elias was definitely like, oh, this Lilith girl is really awesome. But then Lilith is like, ooh, I like dogs more.
I don't know if you guys are getting this, but I have a visual bug right now where all the enemies are invisible.
Oh, what?
They're just kind of floating health bars.
That's fun. Well, I'm just killing ghouls over here. I'll get to you guys soon.
I wonder what the Church of Light is to the Zakarum faith. Because that was the Crusaders' faith of choice in Diablo 3.
Oh, yeah.
And the Zakarum Cathedral in Kedge is what got taken over to unleash the Hell Portal. I just wonder what the average Zakarunian thinks of a Cathedral of Light follower.
That's brilliant.
Because the Cathedral of Light are a bunch of nuts, but we hardly hear anything about Zakarum in this game.
Mm-hmm.
There was like maybe two references to Akarat in this.
Who invited the ghouls to the party, though?
That wasn't me, dude. I don't like it.
I couldn't tell you. I just got my 10,000 ghouls achievement, though.
I was wondering what that was. That's insane.
That's another... The last thing that I'll talk about is the minor bits and bobs I love about the game. First one, I love the voice lines.
Hello. Look!
I love that. I love that so much.
Yeah, that is pretty fun.
My next thing that I want to talk about is the little wave checkpoints in dungeons. Why?
The wave checkpoints?
You know how how when you get halfway through a dungeon, there's this small rectangle room that you have
Locks you in a room, yeah.
I don't understand why.
Yeah, I don't really understand.
I think if you've made it that far in a dungeon, having a little strength test is kind of pointless. You also can't re-roll uniques, which I'm not a fan of. You can't re-roll anything about a unique.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's what makes it unique, but it is kind of annoying.
And then why do you
Yeah,
guys
I
think
wish that
that the affixes have tiers now, even though they don't
Oh,
seem to do anything statistically?
Well, the tier, I mean, it shifts the range up, like the lower and the higher end of the range shifts it all up.
That's, well, one, it's extremely slight, but it's not for everything.
Is it not?
No,
I
it's
was pretty
not,
sure it was.
because I have my Twisting Blades imprint. I had in my inventory, I have a silver tier 1 and a like blue
Oh,
tier
you're
1.
talking about that. Oh, I was talking about the stats.
No. That much is obvious. Like, the stats obviously get better if you get an ancestral to a sacred or a sacred to a normal.
Oh, I mean, even just their it scales based on their power level. Like what it says in the top. There's different tiers within that that shifts the range of the stats upwards. So higher power gear, once it hits a certain breakpoint, it all the stats on it have their percentage ranges shifted upwards by a good few percent, actually.
Well, no, I was talking about the percent rolls of legendary affixes, because those don't seem to change. So my question was, why are there different tiers of affix?
I really haven't. I've been confused about that, and I can't seem to find any answers online. I don't know, but yeah, I was a bit confused on that as well, because it costs more to extract them too, and I'm like, Jesus Christ! It just like emptied my wallet for pretty much the same stats that this other legendary affix would give me from a regular.
Yeah, I think that taking an affix off of another, or like a lower tier, should have a lower roll, because I think that it would give you so much more progression if you got an ancestral with a really good roll on it, but the range at the ends of those were higher for legendary affixes.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I see no like reason that a normal legendary rolled crossbow should have a 30% Twisting Blades roll, while at the same time another max rolled ancestral has the exact same roll.
Also, all the fucking footwear fucking aspects are hot garbage.
Oh yeah.
Unless you have a very specific class that like is like, for me example, it's like the increase in movement speed, like legendary aspects for footwear is that makes sense for my build.
Yeah.
But for any other sorcerer build, or like anyone attempting to make another sorcerer build, it's like fuck that.
I don't remember what I wrote. Yeah.
Yeah, outside of an obvious movement speed buff, having it increase lucky hit makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
I also think that the pants affixes for the most part kind of suck. Especially more pot charges. Who wants more pot charges?
Yeah, that dude. If you're using more than 9, you're under leveled for whatever you're doing. Like they drop so frequently, the health potions. It's like you should not be using that many.
Yeah, I'm really confused as to why the rolls in this are so weird. There's also weirdly specific rolls that are lower ranged than better and more general rolls. Like, damage to enemies and traps on rogue will go from something like 13.5 to 20.5, but then something like damage to close will roll like 23 to 35 unupgraded.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So it kind of defeats the purpose of speccing into something so niche when you can just generally add crit strike and close damage, which are two of the most general things you could add.
Yeah, that's true.
Dude, I'm gonna be honest. Barbarian fucking boring as fuck.
Barbarian?
Yeah.
I mean, it is early game. You've got like.
I guess, but I feel like I was more like having a good time when I was fucking doing sorcerer.
Well, sorcerer was really fun early game already. Wow.
Dude, sorcerer's been fun the whole way.
Yeah, druid right now is also really boring early game. It's like, I don't.
Yeah, but at least you got like cool powers.
Not really. Look at how slow these things go, dude. Look at these tornadoes. Look how slow them. That's all I have. That and I've got
It's
some
not bad.
wolves.
You gotta use your lightning spells.
Huh?
Or the rock smash. The rock smash is so
Yeah, I still need to get that one. I think
good. Rock smash is insane.
Yeah.
I think finishing off this first bit of the quest would be a good way to end the episode. We've been going for about 53 minutes.
I think that's it. Yeah.
I'm down with that, cuz.
My last couple of talking points are that world bosses are cool, but I have my gripes with them. One, they are
fucking
not
long.
scaled at all.
No.
Their scaling is really, really horrible, and they are way too easy. They do not attack enough.
They're free. They don't feel like world bosses. They're like dungeon bosses with the amount of people you can have in there. Especially with the builds you can make. It's too easy.
Yeah, world bosses need to be buffed.
Like, yeah, if you have people soloing world bosses already at this point in the game, it's like I can get if you have some of the best players in Diablo 4, like soloing world bosses, which I guess these people kind of are, but it's like it's too easy. It's too easy, for sure. They also need to scale their drops more. Like, dude.
That was actually what I was about to say. The caches, one, I hate that they are once per week per boss.
Yeah.
It makes no sense because outside of that, a world boss drops one legendary, period.
Yeah. Yeah.
You need to wait a fucking hour for it to spawn? Like, come on.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah, you wait for an eternity, you then get a cache, which depending on the world tier difficulty that you're playing on, will be scaled to a certain level.
Which is so dumb.
I'll tell you what I want. Helltide world bosses. Bosses that can spawn during Helltide.
Well, there is actually. They have that. And it's also very bad. Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah. It's a total waste.
Yeah, so kixxarth is the world boss for the
Yeah,
Helltide.
pretty much.
And kixxarth needs his attack patterns are really annoying, but I can't offer insight on that. He has
the bug guy?
reward, yeah.
Yeah.
The bug. kixxarth has
that's not really
absolutely
a world
no
boss,
reward.
though.
No.
I don't know. I mean, that's not really a world boss. That's just
but it's the Helltide equivalent. It's as much as they have.
He has as much health as a world boss. He attacks more than a world boss. He does more damage than a world boss.
I don't know if he has as much health as a world boss.
I think he does.
I mean,
scaled for as few people as we are, I would think so.
I don't know.
Because the video of the guy doing the world boss was scaled for one dude.
Yeah, but I mean, that's like he was doing 800k.
Bro, I do 800k.
Yeah, but he was doing it with like 30 of those per second, 30 of those hits per second, spamming it with whatever build he has. I don't even know what it is.
I know, but if I set my thing up perfectly and I get really good regen, I can do that as well. I just kixxarth.
Oh, I mean, you can. That was the first person who soloed the world boss was a Twisting Blades rogue. Like, it's all you need to have is the build and you can do it.
Because it's on top. It's absolutely on top.
Yeah, it's just the druid build and the rogue's Twisting Blades are the two just best builds. I don't think there's any others that really. I mean, I know there's the Whirlwind Barb. I don't know how it does for single target DPS. I don't know, but yeah.
Well, that's okay. That's besides the point. kixxarth is the biggest waste of space in the entire Helltide.
Yeah, he's useless. I don't know why they bothered putting him in with so much health if he's going to drop 7 burning cinders. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I don't understand.
He's like, I could go kill more flies.
Literally, yeah, the flies will give you more burning cinders than this guy will. It's crazy. He doesn't drop legendaries. He doesn't do anything, dude. He's just there to terrorize the lower levels.
I get that, but even as a lower level, killing him needs more of a drop. It needs...
Yeah, if you kill him at a lower level, yeah.
Extremely sad.
Yeah, it's so depressing watching him poop out those 8 little cinders after you kill him, and then you just kind of walk away.
Come on, pooping bugs. Oh,
Yeah.
dude, I wonder what Angry Joe will say about this game.
I thought we were in the call with Angry Joe.
Dude. Epic fail!
Yeah, my last two things that I had to say were Legion events also suck.
Oh, waste of time.
Legion
Biggest waste
events
of
are a
time.
complete waste of time.
No.
I have been through multiple
Crappy doo-doo.
tier 4 Legion events where they have dropped only golds and no ovals as well. I do not understand it. I think that the way that they're made are really fun because I do like big community events that are supposed to be centered around the community and they're open world events.
Yeah, it's a cool idea. It just, it's just not really. Yeah, it's not that rewarding, I guess.
And then other than that, I think that the helltide system is a little too grindy.
Yeah, dude, spending an hour in there, it gives great rewards, yeah, but dude, oh my god, just chilling in there for an hour is kind of rough.
I don't know. I feel like you're always on your toes. There's no downtime, so the hour goes by quick, and it's kind of dangerous when you're playing it at like 2 a.m.
Yeah, I mean it does go by kind of quick.
In the context of Joe has done 2 helltides total.
Oh yeah. At first it's fun. Once you've done a few of them, it kind of becomes like.
I've done maybe 20 helltides. And it's after a while it gets really, really strenuous and you kind of have to turn off your brain, and then afterwards you can't stop the thoughts of it's been a full hour and I didn't get anything worthwhile at all.
Yeah.
And the only thing that I can do now is nightmare dungeons to level up maybe a fourth of my glyph.
Sucks, dude. Yeah, the nightmare dungeons, they need to fix that too, because getting 2 drops at the end of that thing and a little bit of XP for your glyphs it feels like you're wasting your time on the game pretty much. Which
greater rifts on Diablo 3 were cool because it would explode with legendaries and sets, which are another thing.
Best feeling ever, dude.
Dude, I want to go play Diablo 3 now.
For real, dude.
Diablo 3 had a lot more item complexity, as well as the Kanai's Cube, which added an entire other dimension to the game.
I liked the end game grind of Diablo 3 more so far, I think.
Yeah. But also, we also are comparing a game that's very old and had hundreds of updates.
Yeah. So
hundreds of DLCs and updates, you know.
Definitely still coming out with changes, I'm sure, but there's definitely work to be done.
It will. I hope to see the complexity of the end game change like it was in Diablo 3 with things like augments, sets, legendary gems, things that could completely turn your run around, as opposed to Paragon glyphs.
And having 3 levels, just 3 levels of gems is kind of lame as well.
Yeah, Diablo 3's gems were very, very cool.
Oh yeah.
There were so many different tiers of gem that I could
like finally getting a royal gem, finally getting another royal gem to socket was such a good feeling. I was like, finally, dude, I got another one. Because that was a grind to get one. And it cost a lot, and
And if you didn't need your extras, you could sell them. You cannot do that in this game.
Like, the cost for the gems, like royal gems, I can get behind. The cost for re-rolling stats in this game, I can't get behind. It's so insane.
I hate how you only get like one fucking little like gold crafting material for each weapon, and it takes me like hours to get golds just so I can level up to re-roll one fucking thing. I was like, I want to. I just want to go like, I don't know, shit bricks.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, I get that. So the scrapping in this game is kind of strange. There's a lot less transmogs as well, which is something that Diablo 3 really excelled at.
Yeah.
And I think that's because they weren't being fueled by microtransactions in Diablo 3.
True. Also, fix sorcerer transmogs because everything looks trash on the sorcerer. Almost everything. There's like one transmog set you can run that looks pretty decent, but everything else sucks. So.
Yeah, everything for the sorcerer just looks like cloth.
Yeah, it's so stupid. And the helmets all look like crazy geeking.
Do you know what's the problem too? There's no wizard hat.
Real, yeah, that's crazy to me that there's no.
Like, what are you guys thinking?
I would rock
unique
that.
Wizard hat that needs to be in the game.
That would be so.
Are you
legit.
joking?
That would be so legit.
That's extremely true.
Yeah. I want to be Gandalf out there, dude. Like, if I can't be Gandalf, I don't really want to.
If I can't be wearing a big gray wool robe with my big wizard hat, shooting lightning out of my asshole, then why am I playing this game?
That's all we want is like Gandalf or like what's that other guy's name? Dumbledore, bro. I want to be Dumbledore.
I wish there were more classes in this too. I was kind of expecting there to be more classes on launch, but there just weren't.
Yeah, what is it, 5? Five isn't bad. Like, it sounds decent, but it's a lot of them they're the same as Diablo 3. They brought one new class, the Druid. Like, come on, dude.
Well, see, that's the thing.
Guys, I want the monk.
Rogue is from Diablo 1, and Druid is from Diablo 2. So there were actually no new classes engineered for this game. Or, well, I guess at least cosmetically, because I think the abilities are somewhat new. But the actual state of the class they're the exact same as in previous generations.
They could have at least added one actual new class in addition to the Druid.
I hope that the Reddit leaks for the class called Death Knight are true.
That would be dope, but I think that was not real or something. I think someone said that was just.
I want a Horadrim class.
Dude, if they bring back an old class, I'm gonna be upset. I don't want more old.
Horadrim class. Horadrim class.
I think canonically that can't happen though, because Laroth is now the last of the Horadrim.
Yeah.
Maybe you get trained. I don't know.
Then I do want Death Knight.
Maybe you get head.
Crusader. Who is asking for Crusader? You gotta stop.
My worry is that Death Knight is just gonna be a Crusader.
Crusader. Yeah. They would do that, bro, and I'd be upset.
You guys should look up something called a Landschneck. They should do something like that.
Oh, what?
It's okay, so in real life, it was like a Swiss bodyguard from the 1500s. And they dressed up in crazy puffy floral garments that had handmade, stitched, and they would just wield massive swords. So they were really nimble, but just
my game just crashed.
Oh, what?
This is the perfect area to end this podcast because my game just crashed.
There we go.
In total, we love Diablo 4.
We love Diablo 4. We do though. Diablo
this got
4
out
is fun.
every little gripe I had with Diablo 4.
Yeah.
It was let's give him one more.
Maybe this is the only episode. But yeah, because I said everything I wanted to say. I talked about everything on my list. And then the game crashes. So that's a fitting end to a fitting episode.
I think so.
I'm gonna call it here. Thanks so much for watching, folks. And as always, good night.
Good night.
Good night.